Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 315 continued. Uh, it's better than Christmas, the marathon episode. I have been on all day. It has been an absolute incredible day. It's opening day. It's my Christmas. I don't know about you, Harrison, but I have been in heaven all day. How are you tonight?
Fantastic. I last night I was sitting on the couch with my laptop out, getting a little work done. I had the game on in the background. I'm like, oh, it's finally that time of year, like where baseball's always there for me. Every night there's a game I can put on. It keeps me company all summer and fall. I love it. Love it. So
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you, loving it.
Yeah. Here's the other 5 hours. Love it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming, flat cheese.
Part deux.
Yeah, that's right. So we got some stuff to get into, but first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links in our link trees on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping for these companies or for these products with these companies, whatever the wording is, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. And right now, creators everywhere need your help. So please, please, if you are considering buying any of these products, use our links. Thank you. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding Third Baseball, we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, tumblers, phone cases. See, I got my good old phone case here. I got my coffee. You know, I'm going into hour 9, so let's get it. So I might be a little goofy, but hang with me, fellas. But yes, check out our store. We're
But
still working on other
but
merch
that's
there.
nothing out of the ordinary, right, Nick?
Well, that's also fair, Harrison. That's fair. But yes, check us out there, and we do have some followers and some nice Rounding Third merch. So, and they love them. So check us out there. And also, we're streaming tonight on Patreon. It's another great way to support the podcast because, like I've said, some streaming services have really undercut us. So we're looking for all the support we can get so we can continue to bring the best content to you and to keep this community growing. So check us out, Rounding Third on Patreon. And today's show has been all dedicated to Cap and J Rose. So I have been on the stream since 1 p.m. I want to thank you, Harrison. You popped on in the middle of your workday to say hello, see what was going on. I want to thank Chris from NYMLB Talk. He came on for the first 2.5 hours and really helped me get this kicked off. So thank you so much. Check him out, NYMLB Talk. He's got pages on Facebook. They have live shows twice a week. I think they're Monday, Friday. Also, Jason Wood from the Romantic About Baseball podcast. He came on, was kind of roundtable discussion there. Absolutely incredible page and work he does as well. He dabbles in a little bit of everything. He keeps up on the current news, the history, just really cool stuff. And then Rob from Highlights from Lowlights. Really cool to meet him today and to hear what their journey is about. So I can't thank those guests enough. We had Michael Simpson pop on. You guys have seen him in here. I yelled at him because he came on while he was driving home from work, and he's like, put the phone down. But thank you, Michael. Really appreciate it. And then Nico came on, and I was kind of in the dog days of the dog hours, I should say, kind of towards the end of the games and stuff. And Nico, also from Romantic About Baseball, came on and really helped, kick me into gear to get me to this show. So really appreciate everybody that came on. And we had some awesome baseball discussions and really made the time fly for me. But the reason I wanted to do this was to honor Cap and J-Ro and what he has meant to our show. We've said it the last 3 or 4, and we'll never forget him because he is the reason we are this open forum type show. We started 4.5 years ago, and he was there. Probably he was the OG. Like, he came on and started talking to us, and we're like, oh, hey, someone cares that we're talking about baseball. And he's been there every show. His wife sent me a message, said that we meant the world to him, and he never wanted to miss a show. and he's never going to miss a show because he's always with us. But we are raising money in his honor to support the local Little League and youth baseball in it's Lincoln Youth Baseball in Portland, Oregon, because that was his family's wishes. His wife's like, listen, we don't need anything. He wouldn't want you to give us anything. He wants you to give back. And I thought that was absolutely incredible. So please consider donating anything, large or small, will make an impact and help us honor Cappen's legacy. The link is in the chat. And I can't thank you enough for everybody that has already. The support is unbelievable. And you guys are the best. We say it every show. I end the show with how much you guys mean to us, and it really is true. So keep that up. Really love this community. But we are here for Cap and J-Ro today, and every day going forward. So thank you so much to everybody. It's been awesome, overwhelming support. All right, let's get into some opening day recaps, Harrison. Just your overall thought on how opening day has gone so far.
I mean, I think there's been certainly been some fun games, certainly been some duds. We had the Netflix one we'll get into. That was an experience. It's hard. We talked about earlier. It's hard to take anything away from opening day. It's one day. There's a lot of there's nerves, there's energy, there's still some settling in to do. But I think overall it's been a good opening day. I do miss the days where everybody played on opening day and you didn't have some one team or two teams last night, a bunch today, some tomorrow. Like opening day used to be like the set day everybody played. But all in all, it's been a good day of baseball. I'm just happy it's back.
Yeah, same. The one thing I asked, like I said, Chris was the first guest I had on, and he's a huge Yankees fan, right? And I go, okay, Yankees, played opening night, last night, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I was like, the Reds usually always have the first pitch of the season, and they didn't this year. How do you feel about that? And he goes, listen, I am a Yankees fan, but I love tradition. Like, why isn't it the Reds? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that has been the tradition for years and years and years. Like, it opens up with the Reds' first pitch at home. So a little bit interesting there. But yeah, I think overall the games have been pretty good. We'll get into some of them like in detail. And we'll start off with this with the Pirates and Mets. And the Paul Skeens outing or inning. I lack
his 37 pitch appearance.
Yes. Oh man, rough. Absolutely rough. But what were your thoughts on that game?
I think that O'Neal Cruz needs to put that glove away and get really comfortable as a DH because 4 of those runs should be charged to him. I've never seen such a poorly played ball and such a kind of a low effort recovery than I saw on that ball that Beatty hit. That was the backbreaker. It was absolutely a play that every other center fielder in baseball makes except for O'Neal Cruz. And I honestly think O'Neal Cruz makes that most days. I think he just got a terrible read on it and then couldn't recover. But it was brutal. I mean, the Pirates finally score some runs for Paul Skeens, and he isn't there to see it because the defense absolutely let him down. So tough one. I mean, I was hoping we'd learn something about those two teams in that game. I don't think we learned much of anything. It was kind of a sloppy game. I will say we saw, Carson Bench with his first career home run, big moment for him. Good to see the young guy, kind of have a day for himself. But it was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, Brandon Lau coming on the scene with the Pirates, hitting 2 bombs too. So Brandon Lau is on pace for what is that, 320 something homers. So we'll see what happens there. We got milestone watch for Brandon Lau. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we learned anything about the Mets and Pirates because that's a completely different game. I mean, the Mets let the Pirates score 7 runs on them. And if you take those 5 runs off the board, the Pirates are winning this opening day matchup. Now, that's baseball. I get it, right? Crap like that happens in every game. So
absolutely
understand it. But Yeah, interesting one there for sure. Um, Sox and Brewers.
The Sox are still not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I mean, the Brewers, it was an offensive onslaught from the Brewers. Again, it's the White Sox. I don't put too much into it. I will say we saw Murakami hit his first home run. Pretty good shot from him. But I think there's what you expect there. The Brewers do what they're supposed to do, which is beat a really bad team. I mean, I say really bad. I mean that White Sox team has improved, but we know they're still not very good.
Mm, no, no. Mizorowski becomes the youngest player to have 11 plus Ks and was it give up 2 runs or less in an opening day debut, or on the
Yeah.
second Thursday of the first weekend of the month with a sunny sky with the roof partially open with winds out of, like, those stats to me, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, just say he had a really good start. I don't need all the details of,
Yeah.
like,
Stop making stuff up.
yeah, like, cool. Like, we know Mizorowski can deal, but, like, why?
Oh,
Why?
I don't know. I mean, he
Crazy.
was dealing. The kid looked great, and
He did.
I think it was important for him to get off to a good start because he did have such a rough second half last year.
Yeah.
And I think he needed to get off to a good start to prove that that wasn't, that was not normal for him. That wasn't what's going to happen.
Yep. Agree. Yeah, so Brewers roll over the White Sox there. Maybe the surprise of the day, if you will, Nationals over the Cubs.
Yeah, the Nationals had a good day.
Yeah.
Um, the Cubs not as much, but I think that I think we've said it many times. Like that Nationals team, there is some really good young talent there, and when they are all kind of doing their thing, that could be a good team to watch. But there's just not enough there to be able to do it day in day out.
Yeah. And in that division, there's no way.
No, it's a
Um,
challenge.
yeah. Twins and Orioles. This just in, Joe Ryan is good.
Yeah, yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah. And on other news, Tyler O'Neill's streak of opening day homers is over at 6, which is
Yeah,
still ridiculous, but
it's still absurd.
unreal. Yeah. So did the Orioles win that one, or was it the Twins? I didn't catch the final of that because I'm blacked out.
Baltimore won that game 2-1.
Oh, okay, 2-1. Nice.
Which
Um,
I will say, I'm just gonna say, Nick,
okay.
the Orioles pitching, one run on 5 hits on opening day. Trevor Rogers looked really good. Halsey looked
Yep.
really good coming in. Um, I liked what I saw. I understand that it's the Twins and they're a 4A team.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think it's a good sign to get off to a start like that to prove that, like, yes, we do have some guys that can pitch. Maybe not every day,
Yeah.
but we do have some guys that can pitch.
Yeah, I don't think my concern necessarily is can they pitch. I think it's health with them too. I think Boz and
Yeah.
Bradish are big question marks to me. Like, how deep is that pitching rotation? Because you look at those 5, they're not terrible. I mean,
No.
are they studs? No. I mean, Rogers maybe towards the upside of that, but it's depth for me with the Orioles that I'm just kind of like, I'm not really sure. So we'll see what happens there. But
Yeah. Well, and your boy Blaze Alexander had a big hit for them. Drove in a run. So good to see good to see the bottom of the lineup come through.
he's not my boy anymore, Harrison. You leave the Snakes, you're not my
Well,
boy anymore.
he was your boy, and then he became dead to you. But
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah, but
that's good.
the top of the lineup for the Orioles did nothing. I mean, Ward, Gunnar, and Alonso were a combined 0 for 11. Adley had a couple hits. Good to see him have some hits, but it was Cowser and Alexander with the big hits for them. And Basayo getting on base. You had Rushman and Basayo getting on base for him. So I think you'll see more out of that offense, but slow start from the top, but you still won because the guys in the bottom came through when they had to.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about who is the odd man out in that Orioles team. Whether you have Mountcastle, you have Alonso, Basayo, and Rushman. Who is the odd man out that sits? Do they play the hot hand? I mean, Alonso's not coming out of the lineup, but Basayo, Rushman, Mountcastle. I know Mountcastle has a little bit of position flexibility, but who is the odd man out there?
I mean, I think Mountcastle's the odd man out, but not in the sense of that he's not going to play much. I think what they're going to do is in order to keep Adley, I think, fresh and healthy, I think you're going to see Adley catch a game or two, and then Basayo switch, and then Adley will get a day off, and Mountcastle will DH, and then Basayo gets a day off. Well, Adley catches, and Mountcastle will DH, and then Alonso will DH for a game, and Mountcastle will play first. And if I'm looking at this like I'm the manager, I'm going to use Mountcastle's flexibility and the fact that I've got two stud catchers to keep those guys fresh. I know I got to keep Alonso fresh. I know I got to keep Adley fresh because there's a track record there.
Yeah.
And Basayo's a young guy, but I don't want to burn him out. So like I've got the ability to cycle these guys through, keep them in the lineup, but maybe give them a day off on the field to try to extend what I get out of them.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I'm just going to go back to this comment real quick. Mike Reed probably had the comment of the day. He called this before the Pirates game started. He goes, watch them beat Skeens and still lose the series. So, Mike, your prediction is on track. It's tracking.
Yeah, Nostradamus over
cool.
there.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's get to our Red Sox and Reds, Harrison. How are we feeling about the Red Sox after game one?
I mean, the offense was not great, but Andrew Abbott is not not a guy you want to mess with either. He's good and he proved it. I think you saw a big hit for Rafaela. You saw a big walk for Roman Anthony when he challenged out with the ABS and won it. And then you saw Story and Duran come through like they're supposed to. So I think you saw things play out like they should. Garrett Crochet is disgusting.
It's not right.
And we knew that going in, but I mean, he and Abbott matched pitch for pitch basically through most of that. The Red Sox had a bunch of hits they did nothing with early in the game, and Abbott kept getting out of things, which is a testament to how good he is. But it was a great matchup, Crochet versus Abbott. The Red Sox finally came through when they had to. I do feel bad for Geno Suarez. It was not a great homecoming. The dude had 2 big Ks with guys on base, so tough start for him.
What does it say to finally have a Red Sox pitcher that can set the tone? Garrett Crochet goes out in the bottom of the first and has a 4-pitch inning. I mean, if that does not set a tone for the season, I don't know what does. I mean, short of striking out the side on 9 pitches, right? I mean,
yeah.
But a 4-pitch inning to start the season is incredible. And we haven't had a true tone setter like that since this guy. So I love it. I'm excited about the Sox. Roman Anthony in the leadoff spot is weird, but I think it's going to work strangely. I think you want him to get the most at bats possible. So I love it. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Alex Cora has this lineup where it should be. I think I like where everyone's hitting in this lineup right now. So
yeah, I think right now it works. I think you're gonna find there'll be some tweaks along the way that make a lot of sense, but I do think that for the most part, you have a sense of where guys should be and where they belong. But you've also got guys that have been there for a few years playing together and they've kind of figured out where they fit. And that's another big piece is that as much turnover as you had this year, a lot of your core pieces are still guys who've been there a while.
Right. Yeah. Angels and Astros. Don't look now, everybody. But the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, of the Angels of Anaheim, are in first place in the AL West with a 3-0 win over the Houston Astros. Now, that might change tonight when the Mariners play, which I will change my hat for. You're welcome, John Temple. Any takeaways from this game at all?
I mean, the Angels actually pitched well.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Not expected.
Well, Soriano, I brought him up last show. He had a pretty decent season for a wretched team last year. And he actually won me a fantasy championship last year with some of his starts down the stretch. So I think he's a bright spot. Now, the rest of that rotation, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kikuchi going in the next game. He'll be okay. Like this, it's not a deep pitching staff. Soriano is good. Don't get me wrong, but seeing them, shut out a team like the Astros is pretty impressive. But I will say my takeaway was Mike Trout hit an absolute bomb and and had a great opening day. And it's nice to see him. Yeah, I mean, he looks like the old Mike Trout. Granted, it's one day, but he looked good. I mean, he drew 3 walks, hit an absolute bomb. Doing typical Mike Trout things.
Yep.
I am really hopeful we'll get something out of him this year, more than what we've been getting. But it was good to see him have a good start. And that home run that Shonwell hit was not a cheapie either.
No. Trout hurt yet, or is that tomorrow? I mean, it's not funny, Ryan, and you're probably spot on with that, but I hope not. For baseball fans' sake, like we deserve a full season of Mike Trout, please.
Yep.
Just, I mean, God, please. But
Yeah. Yeah, that ball, Greg, it was 108 off the bat and went 403, and it was a no doubter.
yeah,
Off. I mean, even the Astros fans like, yep. They're all just like standing there watching it go.
yep.
Crushed.
Tigres and Padres. So Scooble goes, I think it was 6 with 8 Ks or 9 Ks and gives up 1. It was some line like that. I can't remember. Everything's blurring together right now. But Tigers put up a decent amount of runs and took care of that Padres team on opening day. Any thoughts there?
The irony of it is, Scooble pitched great, but nobody cares because Kevin McGonigal had a historic first day.
Yeah.
McGonigal goes out there, has 4 hits, looks like he's been there for years. Drove in a few runs, had 2 RBIs in his very first hit, and completely overshadowed Scooble's day. So I think that we knew McGonigal was going to be a problem. We knew he was going to make this team and be a difference maker for them. My biggest question with the Tigers is their offense, and I don't expect McGonigal to get 4 hits every day, but I think McGonigal showed that he can make an impact to that offense, and maybe they are better than we thought.
Yep.
But I do think that was a statement game from the rookie, and he showed everybody in that ballpark up.
Yeah, I was talking with Nico about it earlier about they need a stabilizer, I guess, for lack of a better word, in that lineup. And if McGonigal can be that in his rookie season, would be crazy. But it says something about AJ Hinch, right? We've said it earlier. Like, say what you want about him, he's a damn good manager. He knows how to get the most out of his players. He knows how to put them in spots where they can be successful. But at some point, that's not going to work, right? There's only so many times you can put the right pieces in the right place at the right time and for it to pan out before it starts to not. It's just the law of averages in baseball. If you can get a McGonigal that can stay, like, listen, dude, you're sitting in this 3 spot or 4 spot, wherever we're going to put you, you're going to hit there every day. We need the production there. That will do a lot for this Tigers offense. So we'll see. I just, Scooble getting run support. I'm sure he'll be happily secondary story to get those runs. And I agree. Ryan, this is a great question. Which Baez shows up this year?
I mean, I think we're going to see the typical Javi Baez. We're going to see the guy that hits, 230 and flails a lot of bad pitches and drives you crazy because that's who he is. I'd like to believe we'll see better than that, but I don't trust that we're going to see anything different than that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I do find it interesting that you're playing McGonigal out of position at third base, which, I mean, the kid can play anywhere. He's talented enough in order to keep Baez at short. I mean, I wonder if we'll see that switch around, if you'll see Baez spend some time back on the outfield again too or not. But I will say my biggest fear for the Tigers is the top of the order. It was the table setters. You got Carpenter, Torres, Colt Keith, and Riley Green, who were 3 for 18 in the game. So not great. No runs scored. No RBIs between them. All your RBIs came from Torkelson, McGonigal, Dingler, and Meadows at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys tore it up. Dingler had 3 RBIs, 2 from McGonigal. The bottom half of the order carried the offense today. And that's the Tigers last year would consistently get nothing out of the bottom half of the order. And it all had to come from the top. And when the top wasn't hitting, nobody did. It's nice to see that flipped around today.
Yeah. Rays and Cardinals in a wild one here. That's the type of opening day game that I love to see. The Rays put up I think it was a 6 spot. They go up 7-1, And then the Cardinals come roaring back, capped off by an Alec Burleson absolute moonshot that he leans back on and just lets it fly. And Cardinals win 9-7. Ryan Stanek strikes out Palacios to end the game with the bases loaded. The Rays had the tying and go ahead runs on base. And Stanek comes in and Burleson equals Herman Ruth for sure. But listen, my takeaway from that game is the Cardinals aren't just going to lay over and be the basement team, if you will, the automatic basement team. That Cardinals team has a lot of pride. Like, it's a historic franchise. They're not just going to be okay with being the NL Central doormat, if they even are. I'm not now looking at the Pirates. I'm not sure if the Cardinals are the NL Central doormats. I know that might be an overreaction from today's game, but I look at those two teams and Cardinals are loads better than that Pirates team is. I might have been way too high on the Pirates going in. Overreaction, maybe, but
yeah, I mean, the Pirates played the Mets. The Cardinals played the Rays. The Rays bullpen imploded. I mean, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say the Cardinals are better than I thought they were. I think they had a really good inning. Because really, I mean, their whole game was that one inning. Otherwise, they didn't do much of anything.
no.
But like we said all along, like, they're not going to be a joke. They still have
Right.
some talent. They got some young talent. They've got some experienced guys. That is still a team that's, as Heim has proven, as he rebuilds, he's going to keep the team competitive.
Right.
Are they going to go win a World Series? No, but they're not going to be a doormat.
Right. Yeah, and Ryan, the rebuild has arrived. It has, right? And it's coming. It will be, 3-4 years, but Cardinals will be back. They have some nice pieces. JJ Weatherholt, home run to dead center, MLB debut. It is, I say it a lot, and it still blows my mind how much of an impact these kids make as soon as they come up. The moment and the stage isn't too big for them. It's just like, I'm up to the big leagues. Kevin McGonigal, 4 for 4, 2 RBIs.
Yeah,
JJ Weatherholt. Yeah, JJ Weatherholt. I'll just take a ball to straightaway center field off Rasmussen. It's wild to me. If I was a 19-year-old kid getting my shot at the big leagues, dude, my knees would be knocking. But the moment is not too big for these kids. And it's absolutely incredible to see year after year. We're just seeing more and more of these studs come up and just immediately burst onto the scene. It's wild, but good for JJ Weatherholt. It's pretty cool. Good sign for the Cardinals too.
Yeah. Two fun stats in this game. There were 14 runs scored in the 6th inning, and the two teams combined for 31 hits.
Jesus.
I mean, think about that for a second. 31 hits.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We talk about how hard it is to string hits together. Well, these guys figured it out. Like, if 31 hits and 14 runs in a single inning. I mean, my Lord.
Crazy, man.
What a weird game, because it literally, all the action in the entire game was in the 6th inning.
Yep.
Otherwise, it was a lot of nothing.
Yeah. I remember looking at the game and it was, it was like 1-0 or 2-1, whatever it was at that time. And, I had a couple guests on, so we were deep in conversation. And I look over like a half hour later, it's still the 6th. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, what, rain delay or something? Nope. Just hit after hit after hit. Crazy.
That game was 1-1 after 5. It was 7-1 after 5.5. And then it was 9-7 after the 6th. I mean, it was that inning was so long.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And then the last one that finished this afternoon, Rangers Phillies. Christopher Sanchez, still really freaking good, by the way. Any takeaways from this? Oh, Schwarber, by the way, a bomb to start the season, naturally. But any takeaways from Rangers Phillies?
I mean, I agree. Sanchez is disgusting. That Rangers offense still has holes. Alec Boehm looked good today.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a big home run and picked up a walk. Jake Berger, dude, just continues to hit.
Yeah.
One of those guys that nobody talks about that continues to just like hit when you need him. I think overall it was a good game. I think that the Phillies are definitely the better team of the two. The Rangers, as we knew, have holes. Evaldi wasn't sharp today, but I think that's just early season. Giving up 2 big bombs like he did, that's always been his kryptonite. It's always been the home run, and he gave up 2 today, and that's all it took.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have many takeaways from here. I'm still low on the Rangers. I just don't know. Good burger.
Yeah.
I just don't know where listen, I get they were facing Christopher Sanchez, but I just don't know where this Rangers offense is going to find runs. I don't.
No.
That's where I'm at with them. And does their pitching staff hold up? I'm also going to say no. I mean, the track record's not great. So that's my kind of reservations on the Rangers, if you will. But Phillies are going to be all right. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and I think one concerning thing for the Rangers too is they didn't do anything until the 9th when they jumped on a kind of a fringe reliever. But then when Duran came in, it was over. Like they couldn't muster anything against anybody until they got that one little run against Backus and took advantage of it.
Yep. Right now we got my D-backs against the Dodgers. D-backs are up 2-0 right now. And I'm excited about this game, not necessarily because they're playing the Dodgers, but this is a good measuring stick to see where Zach Gallen's at in this start, and to just kind of see where the Diamondbacks are. We've talked about them a while here, last few shows, about are they consistent? Are they, because they're kind of stuck in that purgatory. Like, we're not going to make moves because we're waiting for guys to get back. Yeah, we traded for Arenado, but that was kind of out of desperation because they didn't have a third baseman, until they did.
Right.
So this is kind of a measuring stick game to see where the Diamondbacks are at. I'm still going to watch them like crazy. I love this team. I think they have the best uniforms in the league, hands down, every single one of them. But it looks like Max Muncy just took Gallen to the moon, unless that was foul. That was foul. Thank God.
Yeah, it was foul.
But okay. But yeah, I just, we'll see. Yeah, and this is the thing with Dodgers. You're gonna get this. I get it, Greg. It's tough, but that's
yeah, the Ohtani thing it's so exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, yes, he's the face of baseball. Yes, he's one of the best players in the game. Yes, he's an icon. He's a cultural icon. But it's like, my God, there's a lot of other good players in the league that should get some attention too.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, that was Gallen just gave up the second hit of the game here in the 5th. I mean, he looks good, and his pitch count is low.
Yeah, love it. And then tonight after the show, I'm going to hop back on and watch the nightcap, Guardians and Mariners. So we'll see how that looks. I got Bibby against Gilbert. I asked the guys earlier, is it Bibby or Bibby? And they said, flip a coin. I've heard it both ways. So anyways, yeah, we get it. He's good. yeah, definitely, Chad.
Yeah, we understand. We know.
So yeah,
there's also a lot of other players that are good too.
Right. So yeah, Guardians, Mariners tonight. So we'll get to see how the Mariners look coming out of spring training, and the Guardians. So we'll check in on that one after the show, obviously. So, all right, let's reverse a day. Let's go back a day, if you will, Harrison, and talk about the Netflix broadcast. How was the broadcast? I mean, at least it wasn't Apple TV Plus. It was the game itself. I didn't mind. The pre and post game stuff I could do without. Maybe that's just me being an old cranky geezer, but the pregame was a little much. The post game, you've been on live too long, but
anyways, we're back. I think.
Yeah, we're back. Our bad, fellas. But yeah, the broadcast